while being detained in jail with no counsel, no bond, no reasonable access to communications, no religious services, and ultimately no trial, which is called internment, which is illegal. I was out on the yard one day and I saw a group of fellow inmates from another pod on the other side of the rec yard fence muttering to each other and looking at me. So I walked right up to them, up to the fence, and their ostensible leader looked at me like this. And what are you afraid of? Or are you trying to intimidate me in spite of the 15-foot fence? There's a 15-foot chain link fence. Like, why are you looking at me like that, Washington? This is why they canceled IQ testing. Who do you think you're scaring, you goddamn redcoats? Certain rules put in place to limit your power, which you should not break, lest others break them as well. Now it's a competition. You know, the Bible, if the Bible had to account for all the common sense the average peasant lacks, its volumes would outnumber grains of sand in the desert. Likewise, our forefathers could have never imagined automatic weapons. More likely, they could have never imagined anybody dumb enough to undermine the essential, fundamental principles of democracy. First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. You're a barbarian. You have no rights, no authority. You can't just rewrite the Hippocratic Oath and cash in on 3,000 years of prestige and act like you're the boss. So why is the UN doing this to us? Why are they breaking laws and financing activities to legitimize their own subversion here? It's not just a competition to sell tea for somebody else. That's colonialism. You can't just attack Afghanistan for 15 years and lose and be like, we need a king. Quick, rape 84,000 Boy Scouts. We already have a king or kings that I might not know about in Central Africa. We're not allowed to go there. It's frowned upon because the United Nations was set up all along to destabilize and undermine foreign economic systems. And Islam has no right to do that. It's not the Muslims, it's Islam. But it is Islam. And the Quran was disproven by Socrates 1,000 years before it was written. But again, dumb democracies. The Aborigines had to have deep seafaring in order to reach Australia. So before the first major wave of black people escaped from the new owners, they had to have seafaring. For the rest of us, my ancestors hunted mammoth, okay? And some enterprising geneticist placed the origin of genetic Eve in East Africa, which makes sense because all hominids come from Africa. We don't have to rely upon biblical literalism to protect us from Idi Amin. Scientifically and religiously, the first Africans were not black. Stop acting like our only defense from the third world is to be dumber. Like a global flat earth competition for dumbest chicken shit democracy. This has been the world's dumbest news, coming at you live from the deck of the Exxon Valdez, where El Nino, world's biggest baby, reporting to you live for the world's dumbest news.